But oh well, life goes on. Anyway, welcome to Brickin Piece by Piece. Still don't know if I like that name, but it's interesting. Yeah, I love AI because I went to 3 different AI places and just said, hey, quirky names, something with Brickin, that type of stuff. And that's what I came up with is one of the better ones. There's some real stupid ones though. It's like no one's gonna do that. Anyway, so what we're doing today is, if you guys don't know, Atlanta Brickcon's in a couple weeks. Got basically 2 weeks from this weekend, and I'm looking at trying to add a couple little things to the mock that I have, the Tron Research and Mining Rig number 2, big red truck. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you've seen those pictures. It's a nice big drill. It's got a great scene. It's got minifigures. It's got a basis of a great construction site that has storage containers. It has generators. It has mining fuel, gas for vehicles, gas for generators, water evaporator. I mean, it has a lot of stuff. There's a whole bunch of research guys. There's a whole bunch of guys mining the rock and everything like that. It's one of those that I really enjoyed building the thing. And the overall story is that Tron has contracted Tron because to me Tron is always the technical side, the engineering side. It deals with a lot of magnets. It always felt like they were the engineer. So in my head canon, the idea is that Tron is basically research, mining, all that type of stuff. So Tron, who needs rocket fuel for their ships, their space stations, all that stuff, has found a planet that has a lot of rocket fuel on there, and they want it mined, and they're not going to do it themselves. They're going to have someone else do it because, need subject matter experts to be able to do that stuff. So they've asked Tron to go in there. They brought in their research and mining rig number 2. Nice big drill, just beautiful build. I was very happy drilling into this thing, and my biggest problem is that the connectivity. If I want to take that one plus the previous Tron build that had the landing pad and the logistics ships, the Tron, the BTS Crevenii sitting on there, and it's all lit up in the mountains and Rocket Fuel Lake, and Space Police feels that it's an illegal mining operation, so they're coming in to take out Tron. I mean, it's a good build. Didn't really win anything on that. It was nominated at Fredericksburg Brick Fair. Thought it was a really good build. I'm not sure what was wrong. But I wanted to take that one because I never did really tear it apart. I have that one still. And then I have the Tron Research and Mining Rig. And the stories are connected. Basically, it's a area of mining. They mine the rocks. Then they ship it over to the logistics ships on the platform. It gets shipped out. So, connectivity. That's what I was looking for. The also is that when you look at a construction site, there needs to be some type of contractors, office. It needs to have processing gear. It needs to have, stuff like that to process the mining and all that type of thing. So that's what I've been trying to work on over the last few weeks, is trying to get one, connectivity. If I take both, I'm not going to take it for Atlanta Brickcon, but for Brick World, I'm probably going to do both. So what I have worked on is with the Lego Arta truck. I built that over the last couple weeks to kind of get an idea for a command and control truck that had high mobility, articulated, Break area, berthing area, latrine, storage, all that type of stuff, just to be able to use there. So that's going to go behind the research and mining rig. So that's one thing that I've done and completed. I've put some pictures out there for. The other one is this larger mining truck. I used to work for, had two different ideas. I used to work for a company that built heavy duty mining trucks in Illinois that are yellow. Worked there, worked at a couple factories, and I really love the size of that. So I needed something heavy built, have mobility, have a big area to put a lot of rocket fuel in there. Because what I'm looking at doing is trying to have something that's a mining truck, being loaded, maybe in transit, and then being dropped off at the landing site to be able to connect the story together. So I thought first thing to do is mining truck. Second, big fan of trains. So I had the thought of trying to do a monorail. Did a monorail about 3 or 4 years ago. There was some quirkiness, and I can get into that later, but didn't think I had the time to do all that and try to get it done before the Atlanta Brickcon. But however, I can start the story of the rig mining the fuel being processed, then the processed rocks are getting put into a big truck to be shipped over. And you guys have seen it before, but was using the video containers with cheese slopes in there as the rocket fuel. That these are the processed rocket fuel, and I'm looking at trying to get at least like 4 of them on the back of here. My biggest issue is that I really don't want to tear down another one of these because I've already done 3 and it kind of sucks. And the reason being is, of all things, the parts that we can't get, the wheels, the 8x8, the quarter dome. I used all that on the mining rig. The 8x8 grill in red color had to only came on this one. Quarter dome is hard to find. Then the wheels only came on this guy too. So overall, when you start looking at the mining rig, I used a quarter dome, so that's one Mega Core Magnetizer. There's 6 of these, so that's technically 3 that I've had because you get 2 of these per set. And then there's 10 wheels on the rig, so that's at least 2. So overall, I've had to take apart 3 of them to be able to get parts and pieces for that. I think I technically only took 2 apart, and I bought I had the other 2 like in a used bin or something of these I was able to find. But I wanted to use a lot of the original parts from the 90s for that set in the build, and I do. Tron has, it's on stamped or printed tiles and unique pieces of design and stuff like that for containers and storage items and stuff like that. So all that stuff is in the build, plus the trans neon green. But I don't think that I'm going to be able to get all the parts in time that I could use for a build without destroying something. So that's where I'm at right now. So today I'm literally going to just try to tear this thing apart piece by piece. I will save it, keep it in boxes. I can always use a few of these items on the build itself so they don't have to be destroyed. These are all the other items that come with it, and what made them. I'm not sure if it. Oh yeah, maybe it is in here. And what made this so wonderful is the magnet portion of it, that you're able to take apart. That's always intrigued me. That's why I always felt that they were part of the, you know, research and, you know, mining stuff and like that. Just realized that one's backwards. So just because of time constraints, I don't have enough leftover parts that I'm going to take this one apart and try to save it and try not to destroy it as much as I can. And you can already tell that I'm frustrated because I don't want to do this, but it needs to be done because I have something in my head that I feel like I have to do, and I want to try to get that all worked out. So anyway, tear it apart. Let's do this. So overall, that the overall thought that I'm trying to do is trying to get 4 of these on here somehow. I think I like the way the cab works. I think overall, you know, it comes with 3 crewmen. You know, you could basically work out that you have a driver, a navigator, then you've got an operator for whatever here or loading system. But you know, that's another piece of headcanon, is that you gotta have a story on what's the point of these guys being here. So you definitely have a driver, I would say a navigator, and maybe a crane operator here, or the command person to do that. But I think the navigator and command person may be the same guy. But so basically the front of this is good. I think we can keep that. The articulation in the center is wonderful. I don't see that that's a problem. I think we can probably keep that. I think the wheels are great. It's low, but I think what would need to change is to try to take the middle piece off and the back piece off, and just try to maybe level it off, and then build some type of a small bed with maybe just a little bit of a cover here to kind of do that, to kind of make it look like a, you know, a yellow mining truck. I really think that would work out fairly easy. So I'm gonna get myself a nice little IKEA tub. Seriously, a godsend. Save parts and all that type of thing. You know, the command control thing that was over there that I did on that first half an hour, it's in there, all the parts and pieces. Another little surprise I got cooking for the things in the tub. I think they're like $5-6 or whatever. They're versatile, pretty sturdy. They don't fit in the Alex drawers, which kind of irks me. But if they're good for kids' toys, they're good for Legos. So we're going to save all these pieces. Put this over in my pile. Oh yeah, by the way, trash can, that helps too. Gets to have a tub, you know, someplace that you can do it that's not in the build area. So let's get working on this thing. I think overall, I don't think I need to have this articulation here. It does have a nice Tron printed tile, which definitely can be used, so I'm going to save that for sure. The articulated portion is not really needed, so I don't need that anymore. put that on there for now. So that stayed. Parts and pieces. I really like how the grid work kind of played or worked out. I don't think I need that. And these in themselves sit on an 8x8 plate. So I think that overall the grid work should be fine. The only problem is that I feel like they don't need to be separated, because if one is sitting here, another one is sitting there, it'd be nice to have it framed inside of the box so they just kind of sit, but I don't think that they need to be that in there. And if you only put two bricks or two studs there and another one on the outside, I think it's going to be the same width, even if we're just only coming up like 2 bricks high to allow that to go. But then you have another separator like this, and we're doing something like that, so it looks like we've got 4 that kind of fit that way. I think it needs to be 2 in there just because everything is symmetrical on this. I can't break it into thirds or fifths to be able to work that out. So I think that works out well. Okay, so that's that. The hood itself comes back. I think it's actually hitting that, so I think we need to have some type of a bulkhead here, probably in red for this to go on. And then the other thing is going to be articulated off of this, so it's going to have to do that maybe. So that means everything on top of here probably needs to go away. It also means that this is probably all going to be tile too. So, all right, let's work through that. That's gorgeous. Nice magnet, good radar, a lot of trans neon green. It's got the Tron slopes. I think we can definitely use that, reuse that someplace. So there's a lot of good parts that we can try to keep that off of. And there's nothing to say that once we get done that this satellite is not up here and for the navigation portion of it, because it's nice to have a little bit of our rotational on this. Has some azimuth change. It does have some zeroing in on that. So I think that literally this whole build could possibly be saved. I'm afraid that's going to fall off. Outside of that, I don't think that there's anything with the crane itself as of right now. And maybe it comes down to it that the back end of it has a crane that can be used. And that's how all this stuff is being picked up. But I don't know, I think it's going to be too heavy. But definitely going to save this. Probably going to use the slopes here. So don't need a ramp. I think I don't need those. Great detailing. Maybe it's for the back. Maybe I'll do something with that on the back. Don't know. I really think that I won't need the side pieces, but maybe that's what's in the back to just kind of give it the back end look of it. So these all come off. We don't need the gates on the end. Do like the rocket thrusters. I don't know what we'd use them for, but oh. so that's the stripped down portion of it all. I don't think I'll need both of these, but I'm going to play with at least one. So if you really kind of look at this from the back, I don't need the ramp. I think that's just mounted. Nope, there's something underneath there. So, but I think that I could use this in replacement of it and move the side up, and that way it can be whatever is the main hold on this thing. As long as it's one brick above this, it's going to articulate over this side. So there was red plate here that was one plate higher than that. I can tile it and it still would articulate and slide across this, and then a bulkhead, maybe the navigation gear, and just kind of go on from there. Need to probably put a door slider here just to hold that up in place, and then that. And there may be another location here that gets built for the navigator or something along that lines, or brake area or storage or something. But I think overall that's the deep down the okay model for what we got going on. Oh shit, everything's just falling apart. Okay. Show you what's going on. That's in there, but you basically have to put that guy on, and then kind of hard to show. And there should be one from the other side, and I'm not sure what happened, but taking that off just so I don't break it or damage it anymore, even though every time I touch it I damage it. Sometimes I'm just a dumbass. Alright, minifigures. Play that. Alright, let's see what's going on over here. Alright, so currently there is one brick that I just need to put a plate on, so I'm going to take these off and then find one plate over there to fill that piece in. A 2x6 in there. Okay, play with that. And what we'll do, put the wheels on. Don't really need the plate, but what I should have done is extended out that 2x6 for that to sit on there, and then I can brace back this way with those 1x8s. So let's do that. Good brain, good brain. So wheels off again. Take this off. Gonna move that 2x6 plate back, and then reattach everything here. solid. Put the wheels back on. Flip this over. Now what has happened is that got a nice place for this to sit on. That way it looks like it's the back of a truck. And what I think we can do is go ahead. Wasn't supposed to happen, but put that 4x6 on there. And find a 6x6 or a 1x6 plate. Put that there. Take this 1x8. Screw that up. Take that 1x8. Put this on here again. And then we brace back with 4 studs there, 4 studs here, and that's holding quite a bit because it's 3 on the slope, 1 over the plate, 2 over the panel, then 2 back on to the other bricks here that are holding on to that. So gotta find some 1x4s black, which is going to be very hard for me because all my stuff is being used up. So once again, IKEA tub. So the way that I separate a lot of this stuff is one by color. The only way I can do it is by color. The next thing I do is bricks, plates, tiles, slopes, big bricks, all that type of stuff. It gets broken down. But what I have most of all things, is modified plates. There's a lot here. And I'm missing just regular plates. I don't really have a lot. So luckily, just there's every once in a while, but I've gone on to Bricklink. And I've ordered some stuff. I need to do it again. I like working with people I know. I need to put in, I work with people because I know that they ship fast. Their prices are decent. Some of them are good, but I know that if I order today, even on a Sunday, that they're going to be, here, Wednesday type of thing, just because that's how good they are. They'll get their stuff done. And one of those is EMS Bricks out of North Carolina. If I send a text to Renee, it's like, hey, I got to put an order in. Can you overnight it? Her and Paul and we'll just get it done and get it here, and that's wonderful. It's good to have stuff like that. Sometimes when you order stuff, it may take 2 weeks. By that time, it's I've already moved on to something else because I do a build, and sometimes the build is just, hey, I need this done. I need to get it on so I can move on to something else, and it just doesn't work out. But I think that this looks really good. I like the detail on the back, a little fishtail. If we start looking at plates and stuff like that, I leave like maybe 3 studs there, and then and find some big bricks. and just offsetting it by 1 brick. That way I can put plate through the center with some tiles. So that's basically 18 studs wide, 18 studs long from here to here. I can add plates or other bricks to tie it together this way. Because I can go that route. That's what I want to do. Maybe. Interesting. So 16 is the longest that these pieces come in. They're that's basically 5 inches US. I forgot what they are centimeter wise, but that's what I'm looking for to try to put here, just like that. So if it gets up in the air, that's like that. Didn't see that right. Can't really put it down. Just gonna have to hold it. So one goes there, one goes here, and the other one's like that. And then you have the quarter dome. I'm gonna put it on there. It looks like that. So you can have just a little bit of a ramp. I'll rotate it here so everybody can see. So like that. So something like that. A little bit of a ramp so it looks like it's got the bulkhead. This is there, and then just do some detailing of slopes on the outside. I think that works out. I think that's sharp looking. I really do. Good prototype. There's 4 of them on there. You still have the cab. You still have the look of the Mega Core. I don't mind that at all. Okay. Yeah. Still needs to raise up anyway, right? That's right through the middle. It looks like I still have to get up a brick height, which is not that bad of a deal. I can still get that up, and that way I can still do a little bit of detailing here with the slopes in front. So 1 more brick height, and these are 6 wide, so I need some 1x6s, right? And I think starting out with 1, 2, 3. Let this guy just kind of sit loose over there, cantilever over. I think that's not bad. Maybe a hard find. 8. 1. Probably do dump these in a bin. As always. I need to get them broken out a little bit better. So these are nothing but 1x bricks. There are some modified stuff in here, but it's literally just 1x bricks. And some of them are just kind of hard to find. Like I literally bought like 50 of the 1x16s just because building a big ship or something like that, you just need something to kind of hold on to. No, I'm not crashing that. So that. Here. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Maybe too high. I think it's a little too high. But then again, it's supposed to look like a big heavy mining truck, right? I think that if I take the black plate that's off of there and then put runners, that's going to help this thing out. Just try to get it down a plate or two. I don't have enough 1x plates to really kind of do that. So, alright. Sometimes that's what you got to do when prototyping, right? One by 60. Oop, too long. 10. Man, if I could only get a. What's a 14 do? Oh, 14 works out great. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Nope, that is a 12. I think that works out. And 1x4. I'm going to dump that, I know I am. 1x4 here. And what I think I'm going to do is 2x4s over there. 2x4s. Make this pretty solid. Because what I'm worried about is on the articulation is that this piece that's holding just the hinge here. The other thing that's holding it together is just these few plates. So what I'm looking at is trying to tie this to that to this and try to hold that. Except now it's too many up there. So what needs to go now is plates. And that's that. Those are big plates. I need little plates. So then again, broken out to 2x, 4x plates, another bag. Then I got 6x and 8s, and another one so I can help distinguish between the two. So that's going to go on there. That's going to hold. Shoot up. So that's something to kind of understand. most of my stuff is not new bricks. It's used. I like used because it's cheap and I can buy a lot at one point in time. Currently downstairs there's about, I don't know, 3,000 pounds worth of Legos that need to be sorted. That's something that I need to try to work on. Try to get all that stuff in there. Because doing this kind of stuff, and I want to increase the brick store and stuff like that. That's what I gotta do. Gotta process all that. All right, so structurally, got beams this way, and we got that way. So what do? We go across the beams. Unless you're a Ghostbuster, never cross the beams. No, dad joke. Terrible. All right, never mind. Okay, that's a lot better. I really like the look of that. I really don't mind it at all. It's kind of flimsy here, but I think that I can reinforce that underneath to go across this locale. And then with the tile sitting on here, it's just going to sit and rotate, so it's not going to be too floppy. But I think it covers the wheel fairly well. I think it still articulates fairly well. It's interesting when wheels hit like that. So, well, guess what? This literally proves the medieval concept of what comes first, the horse or the wagon. Definitely the horse does in front of the wagon. No? Alright, never mind. I'll shut up. Okay, so I think this is a good start. May do another one of these later on tonight. So probably gonna do some more work on this thing. Try to get this done. Try to have most of it prototyped out tonight. But wanted to try the new setup. You know, the overall photo and then the detail here. Detail camera, I think it has worked out well. Got a new lapel mic, so I think that I'm going to be trying to do this. So when I get the spur of the moments, I may start putting a lot of this stuff out there. But if you got any questions or comments, let me know. You know, Atlanta Brickcon, probably going to do a live seminar or two from there, just talking with people or walking around. I'll put some photos where I'm at later out on Instagram. So if you like, please subscribe as always. All that hubba-blub. Instagram, A New Hopes Designs on Instagram, A&H Designs here on YouTube. If you like what you see, let me know. If you think I need to adjust something, you know, let me know. I'm always open to ideas. But I think that with this being prototyped right now, the way it is, I think I can probably get this built and done in the next few hours, I think. But cool. This was fun. Definitely be doing more of these. Now that basically I have it all programmed, I can just push a button and go from there. So if you like what you see, let me know.